Hey guys, so I have been thinking a lot lately, especially with being in quarantine and not having my usual classes to teach at yarn shops and things like that, and just really contemplating why it is that I have joined the knitting community, why I share my patterns, and I just wanted to branch out into doing this in a way that is more me. I so far feel like I've been doing what have seen other knitters do to get their patterns out there, to be published, to share their work, and ultimately to also get paid for their work. And I've been doing this process for a couple of years now, publishing my own patterns and things like that. And I just feel like there's a disconnect between my design process and flow and the way that I'm supposed to do things. And a big part of that is feeling afraid that if I share something unique, a pattern or the way that I do something uniquely me, that somebody might steal my idea, right? That's like a thing in the creative community in general. We all know this. Designs get stolen, intellectual property gets stolen, and that can be a really big like stumbling block for designers, being afraid to share like more about their process and their techniques and things like that. And I just have been thinking about how YouTube has opened up such a door for the world to experience things in new ways, to experience classes, to learn from people. I mean, I follow, so many makeup artists because it's something I'm interested in, and just seeing how they do their process is something I really enjoy. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and copy exactly the way somebody is doing their makeup or claim that it's mine. It just means I'm learning from them, I'm learning their process. And so I kind of wanted to do the same thing with knitting. So I find myself having an idea, having a spark of an idea, and wanting to get started, and then the burden of having to take impeccable notes, having to then translate, things into charts or vice versa back into written instructions, having to film all of the um, tutorial videos that I do because I love to be able to just show you hands on. I'm a hands on learner. I like to see how to do something and then I can pick it up from there. So basically, it's that laundry list of things behind the pattern that um, sometimes stops me from creating because I feel overwhelmed by the whole process laid out in front of me of how it's supposed to look. And so I was just thinking about how I could change that process for myself and maybe for some of you as well. Instead of feeling like I have to keep everything a secret and I have to protect my ideas, this idea that I'm the only me, you're the only you, there's nobody else who can do what you're doing the same way that you do it. I can tell you my idea, and you're not going to go out and do it exactly the same way that I will. You're going to make it your own. And that's the beauty of it. Um, I started when I got back into knitting a few years ago. I started looking at patterns to try and teach myself new techniques, learn, how to do sizing, how to do shaping, and all of that. And I always started on Ravelry. I would search free patterns first. If I can find a free pattern that has what I'm trying to learn first, well, I'm going to use the free pattern first. And so I just thought YouTube is such a beautiful way to share free content as well. And if it's helpful to you, if it's useful to enough of you, then this channel will grow and I'll get paid that way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about like holding my secrets to myself and keeping it all private. I want to be able to share with you guys and not be afraid. So this is me stepping out of that place of fear and coming to you with my creative design process and hoping that it inspires you, that it sparks some creativity in you, and you can then go out and do, you know, your own designs, your own patterns. You can make things that are specifically for you. And I've written some of my patterns in that way where it's sort of a um, knit until this piece fits you sort of an idea. I've kind of built that into, patterns like delirium, where it's a skirt but it's also a shawl, it's also a cowl. You can wear it lots of different ways. It can be a vest and a sweater. And the sizing is based on your waist. So when you do the belt of that pattern, you knit until the band fits your waist the way it's supposed to. Um, and so I just love the beauty and the freedom of knitting. And so instead of having these like concrete rules of how things are supposed to be, I just wanted to offer you guys my process, which is a lot more individual and tailored to you. So if that's if that vibes with you, if that's appealing to you, then I want you to join me in this. So I actually have an idea today that I wanted to share with you. Getting all of that out of the way first. Um, so let's just jump right in, actually. And the design process for me is so ethereal. Like there is no one way that it always happens for me. Sometimes the name comes first. Sometimes a silhouette comes first. Sometimes a color. It's just a color that comes first. And I think, what do I want to do with that color? So for this pattern, I'm going to be walking you through the process of this time. I was listening to music, just kind of, reading some articles. I was reading I forget what I was reading. I was reading something and I had music on, and Strawberry Fields came on, the Beatles song. Hey, look. That's my husband's painting right there, too. He's incredible, if you didn't know. My husband, Brian Rizzardi, is also an artist, and that is his beautiful Paul McCartney above me. So, speaking of the Beatles, the Strawberry Fields Forever came on, and I closed my eyes for a second. I was just really enjoying the way the music was flowing. I have these cool earbuds I got from Studio. I think I shared about these on Instagram actually already too. They're just little wireless earbuds. And the way that it like puts the music in your head, I don't know how to really describe it, but because the earbuds go down deep into your eardrums, it feels like the music is like swirling and swishing through your head. So as I was listening to this Strawberry Field song and like feeling, the movement of the music through my head, that was the process. I know it sounds a little woohoo, but that's how I do things. Um, this image instantly came to my head of a woman in a field of strawberries in this, and I'll show you my sketch, in this beautiful yellow skirt with strawberries all over it. And so before I lost that image, while it was still like fresh in my mind, I immediately grabbed my notebook and I sketched out the idea. So here's the idea. It's like a mustardy yellow skirt with a ribbed top, and then I want this base part here to be a little more of like a meshy fabric so that it just really drapes over the body really nicely, but for the top to be ribbed so that it cinches in. And that is just a really nice way to fit any body, because ribbing gives you that like breathe movement, freedom. So to have that rib top, to have this like real sort of slinky, and then have it finish off with a little bit of like maybe even what do you call it, when this like dropped stitches where the fabric starts to come apart, but you can kind of fiddle with it to make it stay from actually unraveling. I just want it to have this sort of like, it blends out, it bleeds out into the bottom. And then the strawberries all over it were just, in my mind, going to be like crocheted motifs that are then placed on top, but like big and bold. So this was the idea. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for joining. This was the idea here. And then when I went to go look through my yarn stash, which actually I think I can just turn this around. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my yarn cabinet before. So this is my yarn cabinet. I've got a couple of design books in there as well. But so I just opened that up and looked through what yarn I had on hand to create this mustard yellow skirt with a ribbed top. That's what I want. That's what I see in my head. And so that was the spark. It was Strawberry Fields Forever. That was the spark. That was the moment of inspiration. And so then I moved into, like I said, into the yarn cabinet, and I found this beautiful, it's actually called Guinness. It's a three Irish girls. So here's the three Irish girls yarns. And this is their Springvale DK. And the colorway is called Guinness. So it's kind of like a brownish yellow sort of tone, a little more golden. But I just fell in love with this. So I pulled this. I don't know if this one skein will be enough. So then I was looking at, well, what could I extend the yarn with here? Let me see if I have this other one in my bag right here. Yeah, I put it in here. So this is another Three Irish Girls yarn. This is their Springvale sock. And this is the intergalactic colorway. The color is not great, but if you want to see a really clear picture of what this color looks like, it's on my Instagram that I posted yesterday, I believe, or maybe the day before. But you'll see it. It's these two skeins before they were in cakes, while they were still in the skein. And you can really get a better idea of the colors on these, because there's actually some of this golden color in this beautiful lavender speckle. So my idea was then to take this original sketch, and instead of doing the strawberries, which I might do those too, we'll see. Like I could always get some more yarn later to do like a full mustard yellow if this one isn't enough. This is the process, you guys. This is why I have a hard time sometimes conveying to you the steps that I go through to get from point A to a finished object, because I pulled these yarns and they want to be together. So this isn't quite this sketch. You know what I'm saying? It's not quite the same original idea, but that doesn't mean that that's not where the design is intended to go. So starting with this beautiful golden yellow, I'm going to do the ribbing of the skirt, and then I'll figure out what stitch pattern I want to use for the base of the skirt to give it that sort of airy, slinky feeling. And then as I progress, if this is not enough yarn, I will either contact Three Irish Girls and see if I can get more of it, or sub in this and do some sort of maybe striping in, blending in thing. We'll see. If that's the beauty of the process. I love just letting it develop that way. So first things first is I need to swatch. And I know that's like a 4-letter word for some knitters, and sometimes for myself as well, but because I want this to fit my waist really nicely and like hug my, like I want it to be kind of high-waisted, so I want it to sit up a little bit higher, and I want it to just like really hug my hips and then flow out from there. So I need to get this ribbing first to the right texture and consistency that I want it. So I just cast on, and I was like, should I do 2x2? Should I do 3x3, 4x4? I landed on 3x3 because I like the idea of being able to increase or decrease the actual size of the pattern for you in 6 stitch increments. Because if you see here, let's see, 3, 6. So here's 6 stitches, right? Starting here and across. You can see that's like, I don't have a tape measure here, but it's like about a 1/2 inch. So if I can take out those 3 stitches and add in increments of 6, or subtract in increments of 6 to get that 1/2 inch measurement, then you'll be able to then calculate how many stitches to cast on based on that swatch size. So you can really customize it to fit your body perfectly, exactly how you want it to fit, if that should make sense. It's just 6 stitches equals, you know, I'm estimating here because I haven't actually finished the swatch or measured it yet, But hypothetically, the idea is 6 stitches will get you an extra ½ inch, um, or subtract 6 inches to take a ½ inch off of the circumference of your waistband. So once I get a little bit more knit on this, I will write down all of the measurements, calculate it to fit my waist, and then I can use that to spring forward any sort of elements that you guys need to make it for yourself. So that's the beginning of the process. My goal here is to continue to just pop on YouTube like this, check in with you guys, share the process as I go along. Because, like I said earlier, and if you are just joining me now, I am going to leave these videos up. That's why I chose YouTube versus Instagram for this sort of content as well. Not only because I hope to eventually be able to monetize my channel. Right now, it's not monetized, so I don't have ads or anything play like that right now. This is just in faith starting this process and hoping that it appeals to enough of you that it will grow and I will be able to, support my business in this way as well. But the hope is that through sharing my process with you guys, this will spark inspiration for you as well. And I can just kind of teach you my process and my techniques along the way. And that way we can all do it. It's the teach a man to fish rather than giving him a fish kind of an idea. So I hope you guys like this and this sort of informal way of doing things. I mean, I can always come in with my professional camera and do more clear, crisp tutorial videos like I've done in the past. If you go look back at my channel, you're going to see a lot of tutorial videos that I've done and carefully edited and made like very clear. So this is just more of a way of sharing the process with you, and I hope you like it. If you do, please leave a like on this video, share the idea, share the channel with your friends, and hopefully it will just grow and this can become a community of creative knitters and also crochet. I'll be doing more crochet too this way because I don't have to worry so much about only appealing to a certain segment of an audience. I can just share with you guys my process and let you take from it what works for you and what doesn't, you just leave it behind. But if this is helpful to you, please do thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed, share with your friends. I super appreciate it. I think that's it for now. I just wanted to get that idea out of my head and get this ball rolling, get the process going, and hopefully you guys will join me on this journey. Thank you. I'll leave this up like I said, and hopefully in the future I'll be better at like opening, closing these things. I'll talk to you later. Bye.